Good evening, Miss Gonzalez.
Good
It's good
evening.
to see you again.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming again. So, when we talked last, you were telling me about your plans for your new CD, preparing for that. And so now we want to talk about you personally, and let's talk about caring, self care, caring for yourself, taking care of your voice physically, physical situation. Because if your CD gets really big, you may get some calls to travel and come and sing. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on self care, taking care of you, Sharon, and Miss Gonzalez, in all area, any area you want to talk about? What do you?
Um, well, I hadn't really thought about all of that, but
Mm-hmm.
now that you bring it up, um, pretty much I have the training enough to know, like what to do as far as the voice goes and how
Okay,
to take
good.
care of it.
Okay.
One thing I learned at an early age,
Uh-huh.
and that is like the things that you drink.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Don't Just to make sure I don't drink a lot of ice cold stuff, especially
Okay.
after having to perform and or
Mm-hmm.
be pre-performance and even after performance where you've been sweating and all of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for as far as the voice aspect goes, there are a number of things that I don't do before I have to sing,
Such
and one of
as.
them
Mm-hmm.
is I don't do a lot of talking
Okay.
before I have
Mm-hmm.
to perform. I drink a lot of water, and when I say water, it's like room temperature water,
Okay.
or I drink hot tea, things of that nature, something
Mm-hmm.
that will coat the voice.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I like Snickers candy bars, um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat any chocolate. I don't eat anything with nuts in it,
Okay.
because the chocolate is caffeine and it has a tendency to want to stick, and things of that nature. So I'm just like, nope, don't bother that.
Okay.
I don't drink milk, or any milk based products because of the coating. So, things of that nature. But I always make sure that I'm wrapped up around the throat area because that is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like
Your
how I make my
instrument.
money,
It's your
my instrument,
instrument. Yes. Yes.
So a piano player is going to have gloves always on their hands,
Mm-hmm.
to protect their hands. So
Yes.
a vocalist I have to always, cover,
Mm-hmm.
have my throat covered and to make sure that when it's real cold, that
Mm-hmm.
I'm covered head to toe, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much because you can catch cold. And
Right.
it's
Right.
one thing you don't want to do, um, and just know how to sing. And I mean that might sound cliche
Mm-hmm.
or funny to some,
Mm-hmm.
but when I say knowing how to sing, like you can't sing from your throat
Mm-hmm.
and expect to have 4 or 5 shows
Mm-hmm.
and be able to perform in all 4 or 5 of those shows back to back to back to back to back singing from your throat. So
Right.
you have to learn to breathe and sing from the come up through the diaphragm,
Diaphragm. Yes.
which is
Yes.
the stomach area. So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
inhaling and proper inhaling and exhaling techniques. So and before I perform, I always make sure that I'm doing those techniques. I'm always making sure that I warm my voice up before I sing either
Mm.
note. And
Okay.
I learned that, dealing with my training in school, that
Mm-hmm.
before you even say good morning
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, you should always start by warming your voice up and if it's no more than just a little hum with your mouth closed, just to get those vocal folds
Mm.
warmed,
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature. So I do that. That's a daily thing for me. If I
Really.
don't do anything but just hum the alphabet, some,
Mm-hmm.
or the scales, or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. That's what I do every morning, just to warm the
Mm-hmm.
voice up and just to make sure that I'm taking care of my instrument
Yeah.
that I need to have,
Yeah.
and making sure that I can breathe,
Sure.
because I've had some issues with breathing lately, and so
Mm-hmm.
I have to make sure that I can hold my own,
Yes.
and
Yes.
breathe the way I need to breathe when I'm singing, because otherwise it's no need for me to sing if I can't hold a certain note the length of time that I need to hold it.
Right.
And you know, sometimes you hear some people that sing and every other word there. Well, you know, you want your music to have, well, me personally, I want my music to have a flow.
Right.
So if I'm going to sing something, I'm going to make sure that I can at least get through a phrase
Yes.
before I take a breath. So that requires some breathing exercises and, you know, making sure that you're inhaling properly from the diaphragm, not from the nose,
Right.
but from the diaphragm, and then exhaling it properly and making sure that you expend all of that air that you've inhaled, because if you don't, then it can cause problems as well. So and making sure that you get enough rest, because if you don't have enough rest, your voice gets tired, and all of that stuff. I remember when I was in college and we would tour with the concert choir and we traveled really, and when I say travel, I mean like places like Trinidad,
Oh, wow.
to London, England, and
Really?
you know, various places.
Wow.
And sometimes the toll of the flight,
Yes. Yes.
the length of the flight would really take a toll on us, because we would be jet lagged.
Sure.
We'd have, you know, we'd just be tired. And a lot of times we'd get right off the plane, leave the airport, go put our stuff down, and we'd have to be at the venue to rehearse. You know, because we had a big concert coming up the next day or that evening. You know, I remember the one time we went to Trinidad, and I was the prayer leader in God's Trombones, James Weldon Johnson's God's Trombones. And man, I had jet lag like nobody's business. I was tired, and we were rehearsing. And I thought I had the energy. I thought I was giving out the energy. And one of the people that were there listening to us told one of the persons that were with us, she sounds really tired, you know. And she told me, the person told me that, and I was like, wow, I really got to get some rest. So I was able to like take a nap before our performance that evening, because it was literally get off the plane, put your stuff in the rooms where you were staying, rehearse, eat dinner, maybe an hour's rest, and performance that night, you know. So I was able to get some rest. So you have to make sure, talk about self-care, you have to make sure that you're getting an ample amount of rest, and just making sure that, you know, that you're okay. The least little thing could affect how you perform.
Yes.
The least little pain you have could affect how you perform.
Right.
You know, as women, we have our little cycles and stuff, and that can even affect how you perform.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I didn't learn that until I went to college, but it does affect. The least little thing can affect how you perform. You know, so so I've learned throughout the years to really, when I know that I have something to do, I've got a performance to do, I need to get my rest. I need to make sure that my vocals are training, and I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that I sound halfway decent, you know.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm making sure that, you know, I'm taking care of me, going to the doctor, doing what I need to do, you know, and things of that nature, and trying my best to eat healthy, because that plays a part too, you know.
Yes.
It really plays a part, because the last thing you want is to eat something crazy and get out there on stage and it gives you gas, and there you are, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah.
So did you say you learned these lessons about self-care in college? Is that
I
what you
did.
learned? And what college did you attend?
I attended the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like they taught you well about self-care.
They did.
That's
They
very
did.
good. Okay. We have to take care of ourselves. It's so important.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're right. I never thought about having eaten something that maybe didn't agree with you, and then you have to go out and perform, and
Yeah.
The stomach's aching, or
Yeah.
it just didn't sit
Yeah.
right.
For instance,
so,
I
yeah.
love broccoli, and I really
yeah.
love it raw. I like it raw. I love it raw, but it doesn't love me. When it's raw. So I have to stay away from that. The raw. I can eat it cooked all day long, and it doesn't
Yes.
bother me.
Uh-huh.
But the raw will tear me up, and I get the belching, and I'm
Oh,
just
my.
like, oh, I can't be doing this in front of people, and trying to sing something, because a belch has no problem coming out in the middle of a song. It has no problem. So I stay away from various things
Excuse me.
when I when I know that I have to perform.
Sorry about that. Something I caught my throat all of a sudden.
It's okay.
But I need a cough drop. Okay, so we've talked about the voice, the food, the diet. What else can we talk about? What about preparing your mind for travel or whatever you need to do? Like, how do you gear yourself up to psych yourself up?
I don't.
To get ready.
I don't. I'm just like, okay, it's got to be done. Let's do this.
Okay.
I don't get psyched about having to travel,
Mhm.
because for me that's a distraction. So I have to focus on what I have to do once I get there. So to worry about travel, it doesn't bother me. We go do what we need to do, and let's get it done and over with, and that kind of thing.
It's good.
Sometimes I feel like if I would worry about traveling, because sometimes we have to travel distances,
Yes,
and
yes.
so if I had to really worry about that, then I don't think I would do it.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I say I don't really worry
Mhm.
about that. If I'm called to go somewhere, I make sure that they know what is expected,
Mhm.
as far as monetary,
Yes,
because
yes.
I have to be paid for my services,
Mhm.
especially like if I have to travel for a wedding,
Sure.
and things of that nature. So
Mhm.
most of the time I'm like, okay, I'm going to provide my own transportation and gas, but
Mhm.
I am expected to, to be paid for my
Mhm.
services.
Yes.
So that will put back in, but
Yeah.
I don't really necessarily always think about the distance I have to go.
Okay.
Because I feel like like I said, it just puts a bigger damper on
Mhm.
on the task ahead,
Right.
and
Right.
you don't want to go into
Right.
what you have to do being hampered or
Yes.
dampened down about.
Mhm.
I had to
The
travel all
details.
this way
Yes.
to do all
yes.
of this,
Yes. Yes.
And so years ago, I had a manager that she did all my bookings for me,
Good.
and all my anything that I had, like,
Mhm.
and when I would do concerts at churches, the
Okay.
money, she'd take the money and do whatever she needed to do. Like, she split it between myself and my musician, because I would have to pay my musician, of course,
Okay. Yes.
and that kind of thing. But so I don't have one of those anymore. But
Mhm.
but I do have people that travel with me that are good at trying to take the load off me, so I'm not doing it all.
Good. Okay.
So
Great,
I
great.
have a support system that will
Yes.
travel with me and
Yes.
say, hey, let me handle this, and you
Mhm.
worry
And
about
focus on that.
focusing
Mhm,
on what you
mhm.
need to do. So
Okay.
yeah, so I don't worry about the travel.
Good.
If I have to drive, then I do what I have to do,
Mhm.
to get myself back in shape once I get there to do what I need to do.
Okay, good. So it's important to have that support system
Yeah.
in place. Like you said, you don't want to be burdened down with all those things.
Right.
Your goal
Right.
is to come and sing or
Right.
minister.
Right.
That's what you are, a minister of
Yeah.
music. So
Yeah.
that's good. I'm glad you got that down.
Yeah.
That's good. And you're clear on that. Okay, that's good. So, so we got the voice covered. We've got the psyched up We're not worried about the details.
Yeah.
We're staying focused. So let's just back up a little bit and let me ask you this. Do you feel that you are, that this is your purpose in life? How do you feel about just singing in general, singing the gospel, receiving the music, and then sharing it with the world, the audience? Of course, you believe it comes from God, and you believe it's your place to share. Or tell me if I'm wrong. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like you're called to do this? Is this something that you want to do? How do you look at this whole singing career? Where are you going with it? Just talk a little bit about that. How do you see it?
I feel
How do
like
you
it's
see
something
yourself?
that is something that I'm called to do.
You do. Okay.
Yeah. And I love doing it. It's never now when it gets to the point that I feel like it's too much or it's getting on my nerves, then I'll take a break from it. But so far I have not. It's so I enjoy doing it. I don't have a problem with doing it. As a matter of fact, the other day a friend of mine texted me. She was like, "Hey, today's my mom's birthday. Can you call her and sing happy birthday to her from me?" And I was like, "Sure." And I did it. Her mom lives in New York. And I called her mom and sang to her, and this was like early in the morning, like 8:30 in the morning.
Wow, yeah.
And and then so my friend texted me back. She was like, "Thank you so much. Mom just called me. She was so excited. She says she knows who you are because I talk about how you call me every year for my birthday and you sing to me and blah blah blah, and all of this kind of stuff." And she says, "You really should start doing that for people and charging them like $5 to do singograms." And I was like, "Really? I'm not into all of that." And she was like, "No, but I'm really serious." I was like, "You're in Dover, Delaware. You text me and said, 'Can you call my mom and sing to her for her birthday?' If I were to charge for doing a singing telegram, how would I get my money from you?" And she was like, "It's easy. You can do PayPal. You can set up a PayPal account and da 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 da, and they will send you your money." She says, "As a matter of fact, you want to do it today? Set up a PayPal account and I'll send you the money." And I'll send you the money. I was like, "Child, please, I don't have time to be doing all of that." She was like, "But it is some residual income for you. You should think about it." I said, "Yeah, you're right. I really should." I said, "But today I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about it." She was like, "Well, let me know when you're ready. I'll help you set it up," because she used to sell homemade cookies. So she did it with her homemade cookies business that she had. She was like, "Let me know when you're ready and I'll help you set it up." I was like, "Okay."
Well,
that was last week.
Well, as you're saying that, I'm thinking that's not a bad idea. And maybe you may not want to pay for a singing telegram, but as your career moves forward, that might be something to look into, setting up that account, that PayPal account. And that's what I was going next. Like financially, how are you prepared to take that on? I don't know how you've done it in the past, but in the future, is there a way to offer options to potential clients or churches or whoever it is for them to pay you in alternative ways?
I've thought about it, and that was one thing, because I wanted to at one point put my single, that one song, on the internet so people could hear it, but they would have to buy it. But the way to do it was, I was just like, I don't really have time. I don't feel like, you got to pay 99 cents just to buy the song. I don't do it when I want to hear a song. I know, and I'm saying to myself, that's me. I don't want to do it when I want to hear a song. Hey, I'm not going to pay 99 cents just to hear this song.
Yeah, I get that.
One time, so I was just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And I could probably do it, have it available on like iTunes or something like that, and they pay for it. But I got to thinking, I was like, do people really like my voice that much that they'd be willing to do that? and that's just always in the
Yeah.
back of my mind
Yeah.
for me. And that could be, for me, that could be my low self-esteem
Mm-hmm.
speaking to me, saying, people really don't like your voice that much,
Mhm.
that they would pay like 99 cents or even $1, to hear that song played, or even if they download it, how many times are they going to play it? That kind of thing. So I was just like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm not. and I realize sometimes I sell myself short
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I think that way, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, okay, well, whatever. It's just, you just lost out,
You lose out. Well, let me just say this. And this is a lesson that I've learned, and you can take it or leave it, but I'm just offering it. I have learned that by holding back, I'll speak for myself, I have missed opportunities that were available to me. And it's just a thought, when those thoughts come into your mind, I personally just discharge them now. I'm getting better, I'll say it, discharging them and really allowing myself, giving myself permission to shine, to give myself permission to be okay, and I'm thinking about certain celebrities, and I won't call any names, but they're continuously self-promoting. They use something as simple as Instagram, and they post pictures of themselves all day long or whatever is going on in their lives, completely self-promoting in order to get followers, and those followers help build their popularity. And we can be uncomfortable with doing that ourselves, promoting ourselves.
I am.
Yeah, and so that's what I want to get at. In the new year, that may be something you want to think about, allowing yourself to shine, because you are taking the steps to get out there and allow people to hear the gift that God has given you. And you've already said that you believe this is your life's purpose, and it is a calling. So why not move to the next level, take the next step, and maybe get your toe wet or foot wet. Just try to just set up an account, or just take that chance, put one song out there, and let's see what happens, and then take it from there. That's part of self-care too, combating the negative self-talk. Because we talk ourselves out of things.
I do.
Yeah. And that's another avenue again of income coming in to help support you. And you want to be used by God, and He wants to use you, and you're allowing Him to use you. So why not talk yourself out and say okay, and be okay with that? What do you think about that? Is that something you would consider?
I hear you. It's just, I have to bring myself to that place.
Yeah, sure,
and I think
sure.
a lot of that has to do with my self-talk about remaining humble. Because I just feel like
Yes.
I'm tooting my own horn, and that's something that I've never wanted to do. So for me, it is a problem. It really is.
Okay.
I have talked myself out of many things because I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do that. That's just not that's not who I am. So and I guess that's where the problem lies.
Okay.
So it's something I have to work on. Is
Yeah.
making sure, because I've always, growing up, I always felt like I was never good enough. And I think a lot of that has to deal with rejection from
Yeah.
parents, and things of that nature. So it has stemmed over from one life stage to the other.
Sure. Yeah.
About I just always felt like I wasn't good enough for this, wasn't good enough for that, wasn't, even though I say I persevere, I try to, I never stop trying, but sometimes even through the trials and trying over and over and over again certain things, I'm just like, am I really good enough for this? Is this really happening, to me? So I have to work on that as well, because I do have a lot of negative self-talk I really do. So, and I'm not one to take a lot of pictures of myself and post to promote anything, So I'm just like, nah, I ain't doing all that. And I think when I did my CD release, that first one, I put it out there on Facebook when it was going to be, and I had like 100 and some people that said they were coming. And needless to say, not even half of that showed. So I was kind of discouraged and downhearted, and I know Facebook is social media, but I mean, people that were right in the area that said they were coming, and I'm just like, but yet you want me to support you at everything, but you don't want to support me. And I had a problem with that. I really did. So I was just like, I guess you can call it bitter. I ain't going to nothing you have, and that was what I was saying. You can't support me, so why should I come and be a support to you when you can't support anything that I do? So, it was just like, nah. And so I was like, well, the next one I do, I may not even put anything out there. I just may do it by word of mouth,
Really?
And just, because I was devastated, because I was like, now all these people talking about, I'm coming. Even one of my best friends,
Oh, wow. Yeah,
she was like, I'm coming, and then I had a couple of college friends. One came all the way from Dover. The other one came from Virginia, Woodbridge, Virginia. And they came, and I was just like, now they could come. And, one of my best friends lives right in the area, and you don't show up. And then she has housewarmings and book signings, but you want me to come? Where were you?
I understand. Yeah.
And so I try not to be bitter, but sometimes you can only take so much being human,
Yeah,
and so that's where I was with her. And I was just like, and so when my godmother called and was like, you going to the housewarming? Nope. You going to this other book signing? Nope. I've had a birthday party. I've had, let me backtrack. I had a CD release. I had a birthday party, and I gave her a pass. I said, you don't necessarily have to come to the birthday party, because she had, just came. She was recovering. She had been sick and was recovering. Oh no, I'm gonna be there.
Oh wow.
Mom and Dad's gonna drive me. I'm definitely coming. And you don't show up, and then I don't hear from you for like weeks. And then when I do hear from you, it's like everything is okay. No, it's not okay.
Not okay.
So I'm not going to be. And then when I graduated from college, it was like, I know I better get a ticket. So I sacrifice. I give her a ticket. I tell her, you need to be here by a certain time, or they're going to lock the doors. And she wasn't. So she had to sit in the theater. Needless to say, if you're my friend coming to my graduation, you're coming to support me.
Right.
So you don't even wait till graduation is over to come and find me, or to even join me at my after graduation party.
Really? Oh my.
But you posted that you were there. You had the booklet to say you were there, but you couldn't even wait to come find me, because you knew that I'd be in the auditorium, because I told everybody that was at graduation, meet me in the gymnasium after graduation is over. Meet me there, because that's where I'm going to be. You don't show up. You don't even call. I don't hear anything else from you, and I'm just like, nah. I'm not putting myself out there like that.
Okay,
so I'm just like, nah.
Okay, so my job right now is to shine a light on areas that I think could really benefit you. And right now I'm shining that light. Okay, so we're going to turn this back to you. If you believe God has called you to do this, do you think that He wants you to record a CD and not advertise it? that he and advertise the gift and the song, the music and all that he gave to you, because someone that you felt should have supported you didn't?
No.
So it's not really about that person, but it's
No, it's
about
not.
Miss Gonzalez.
Mhm.
So it's just food for thought. As you go into next year and you're planning out your events and your travel, and at some point you have to promote yourself. And I know it's not easy to do because we, unfortunately, we don't always get the support. You just said that, and the reinforcement, the what's the word I'm looking for? The acknowledgement, the encouragement. I'm looking for another word, but validation. We don't always get that from those around us. So it's sometimes we just have to go out on faith and validate ourselves. This is just an area that I think, God, if He's given you all of this, I just feel like, you might want to find that balance somewhere. Of being humble like you are, and I believe we should all be humble because, again, the gift is from Him, not from us. But at the same time, we want to get the word out. So, just want you to think about it. Think about how you can do that. What's best for you and the best way for you to do that.
Okay.
We want you to, we want you to get out there. We want that light to shine. The light is shining on you, and we want it. We want the world to know, and I want to know. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so how do you feel about our time together over these past 6 sessions?
It's been good. It's been
Been
helpful.
good? Been helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad. Okay. So, if you ever need me, you can always reach out to me, and I'll be right here willing to help you.
Okay.
And, of course, I'll follow up with you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Just to see how you are, and then, after the new year, I'll be in touch early in the new year, not January 1st, but,
Right,
I'll give you
right.
time to get going and then check in on you and see how you're doing, because I like to follow up with my clients.
All right.
Well, so nice working with you. I really
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. I wish you
Thank
all the
you.
best in your new career.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right.
All righty.